12 Days to the Fourth Dimension by Scott P. With a little help from my friends. Day 12. Chapter 12, Day 12. Set Aside Prayer. Dear God, please help me to set aside everything I think I know about myself, your other kids, and you, so I may have an open mind and a new experience. Please help me see the truth about myself, your other kids, and you. Step 12 Spiritual Principle. Service. An act of helpful activity. Help, aid. Promise number 12. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Daily Fourth Dimension Preparation Checklist. At the end of the day, check off what you did. 1. Do not drink. 2. Pray and meditate. 3. Talk to your sponsor. 4. Go to a meeting. 5. Do service work. 6. Read some of the big book. Day 12 Story. The Rabbi's Gift. The story concerns a monastery that had fallen upon hard times. Once a great order, as a result of waves of antimonastic persecution in the 17th and 18th centuries and the rise of secularism in the 19th, all its branch houses were lost and it had become decimated to the extent that there were only 5 monks left in the decaying mother house, the abbot and 4 others, all over 70 in age. Clearly, it was a dying order. In the deep woods surrounding the monastery, there was a little hut that a rabbi from a nearby town occasionally used for a hermitage. Through their many years of prayer and contemplation, the old monks had become a bit psychic, so they could always sense when the rabbi was in his hermitage. The rabbi's in the woods. The rabbi's in the woods again, they would whisper to each other, as he agonized over the imminent death of his order. It occurred to the abbot at one such time to visit the hermitage and ask the rabbi if, by some possible chance, he could offer any advice that might save the monastery. The rabbi welcomed the abbot at his hut, but when the abbot explained the purpose of his visit, the rabbi could only commiserate with him. "I know how it is," he exclaimed. "The spirit has gone out of the people. It is the same in my town. Almost no one comes to the synagogue anymore." So the quiet old abbot and the old rabbi wept together. Then they read parts of the Torah and quietly spoke of deep things. Then the time came when the abbot had to leave. They embraced each other. "It has been a wonderful thing that we should meet after all these years," the abbot said. "But I still failed in my purpose for coming here. Is there nothing you can tell me, no piece of advice you can give me that would help me save my dying order?" "No, I am sorry," the rabbi responded. "I have no advice to give. The only thing I can tell you is that the Messiah is one of you." When the abbot returned to the monastery, his fellow monks gathered around him to ask, "Well, what did the rabbi say?" "He couldn't help," the abbot answered. "We just wept and read the Torah together. The only thing he did say, just as I was leaving, it was something cryptic, was that the Messiah is one of us. I don't know what he meant." In the days and weeks and months that followed, the old monks pondered this and wondered whether there was any possible significance to the rabbi's words. The Messiah is one of us. Could he possibly have meant one of us monks here at the monastery? If that's the case, which one? Do you suppose he meant the abbot? Yes, if he meant anyone, he probably meant Father Abbot. He has been our leader for more than a generation. On the other hand, he might have meant Brother Thomas. Certainly Brother Thomas is a holy man. Everyone knows that Thomas is a man of light. Certainly he could not have meant Brother Elred. Elred gets crotchety at times. But come to think of it, even though he is a thorn in people's sides, when you look back on it, Elred is virtually always right. Often very right. Maybe the rabbi did mean Brother Elred, but surely not Brother Philip. Philip is so passive, a real nobody. But then, almost mysteriously, he has a gift for somehow always being there when you need him. He just magically appears by your side. Maybe Philip is the Messiah. Of course, the rabbi didn't mean me. He couldn't possibly have meant me. I'm just an ordinary person. Yet supposing he did. Suppose I am the Messiah. Oh, God, not me. I couldn't be that much for you, could I? As they contemplated in this manner, the old monks began to treat each other with extraordinary respect on the off chance that one among them might be the Messiah. And on the off chance that each monk himself might be the Messiah, they began to treat themselves with extraordinary respect. Because the forest in which it was situated was beautiful, it so happened that people still occasionally came by to visit the monastery to picnic on its tiny lawn, to wander along some of its paths, even now and then to go into the dilapidated chapel to meditate. As they did so, without even being conscious of it, they sensed the aura of extraordinary respect that now began to surround the 5 old monks and seemed to radiate out from them and permeate the atmosphere of the place. There was something strangely attractive, even compelling about it. Hardly knowing why, they began to come back to the monastery more frequently to picnic, to play, to pray. They began to bring their friends to show them this special place, and their friends brought their friends. Then it happened that some of the younger men who came to visit the monastery started to talk more and more with the old monks. After a while, one asked if he could join them, then another, and another. So within a few years, the monastery had once again become a thriving order, and thanks to the rabbi's gift, a vibrant center of light and spirituality in the realm. Get it? Live it. Three questions, the way to end your day. 1, did I live? 2, did I love? 3, did I matter? Now is the time for some self-reflection. 12 days. Congrats, you did it. Now for the good news. You have been catapulted into the 4th dimension. It may take you a while to realize this, and of course you may need to repeat this process a few thousand times like I did. The bottom line, rarely have I seen a person thoroughly follow this path. Just want you to know I have been sober and clean 32 years now, and I am ridiculously happy. Feel you can be too. Last thing I want to share is simple, but if practiced, will produce prodigious results. Treat everyone you come in contact with in 2 ways. 1, like it is the last time you will ever see them alive. 2, like the way you feel God would want you to treat them. Next call to action is to go back to day 1 and repeat. Good day.